How far back can you trace your family ancestry? This may be the shortest chapter yet. Ken had the most extensive family tree information, which has now been collected, augmented, and assembled by Willie's daughter, Lisa Turner. I never met my dad's parents as they were deceased before my arrival. I did know most of his brothers and sisters, as well as a few cousins on that side, who were the most delightful relatives. Uncle Homer and Aunt Mildred were the most often visited when we would pass through Johnson City on the way to Pennsylvania. Homer looked a great deal like Dad. Aunt Evelyn was probably next best known. Cousin Ron and I were probably closest in age and relationship. There are a couple of others with whom I correspond through social media. Dad's father was named Richard Hammett, and his wife was Sarah. I've seen one photo of Sarah, but never a picture of Richard. George Sr. had a brother, Chester, who enjoyed taking a nip of adult beverage, and a sister, Lockie, who endured a lobotomy, which left her quite incapacitated for the rest of her life. I don't remember ever meeting Dad's brother, Clifford. Nell is another name that surfaces as a sister. On Mom's side, I knew her dad, Jasper Anderson Scott, Jack, as everyone called him, very well as he moved to Montgomery late in life. He had a great sense of humor and loved music and history. Jack was married to Emma Elizabeth Schmidt prior to a divorce. He remarried twice, outliving all three ladies until age 94. His last wife, Alice, was the sister of Louise Thedden, who had a stellar career in aviation. She flew small planes and even raced and beat Amelia Earhart in air races. A wing of the Aviation Museum in Tullahoma, Tennessee, is named in her honor. Jack and his siblings were orphaned early in life and spent some years in foster homes. I knew his brother Bert and his wife Vivian. Cousin Ted was a dentist in Birmingham, I think. I talked to Jack's brother, who was a horse riding evangelist in South Mississippi. A cousin of sorts, Ari Strange Dollard, and I grew close through correspondence and social media in later years. She passed away last year and was my final link with that part of the family. The Strange branch was in Cincinnati, Ohio area. I like to think the actor Glenn Strange was a distant relative. He played the Frankenstein monster and was the bartender on TV's Gunsmoke. I had a couple of visits with Mom's brother Bill. I knew her younger sister, Dorothy Scott Wright, Aunt Dot, and Dot's daughters, Teresa, Terry, and Marcia, perhaps my closest cousins. Dr. Ken Wright was Dot's husband for many years. Mom, Opal Scott Hammett, was the daughter of Emma Scott, whose mother was Grandma Schmidt and great-grandmother Sipple. That's about as far as my knowledge of family ancestry goes, with the exception of Jack Scott's father. There are conflicting stories of his background and origin. He was rumored to be very intelligent and spoke a number of languages. He married a lady 30 years younger. Unfortunately, he was known to be abusive to his bride and was eventually killed by his daughter, Jack's sister, thus the orphan status of the siblings. There are stories of one of the senior members of the family arriving in America from Spain. That's about as scattered and incomplete a family history as one can construct. But those are the fragments I can recall. Oh, one additional story. I was reminded of a note I received from Jack Scott many years ago. He said he had set aside a small amount of money for me to be inherited at the time of his passing. He added that circumstances of ill health or extended care might deplete the funds and nothing would be left. He concluded with that in mind, I know you wish for me good health and a quick demise.